Booty got size. Booty large. Booty positive, booty negative. Booty in charge. Booty at a distance. Booty far away. Booty in Dune. Boo Timothy Chalamet.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network, a fine network. It's Tuesday, March 1st. I'm J.E. Skeets, and alongside me, as always, we got Tess Mellors.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Hey, Tessie. We got our top shot hot boy, ripping them lips, Trey Kirby.
Heyo.
Hey-yo. The international man of mystery taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Friends.
And last, certainly not least, making the magic happen over yonder, super producer JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are. Rate that hello from JD.
I wasn't feeling it today.
Yeah? Think he might get a 7 on that.
I can live with a 7.
Yeah, okay.
Anything above a 5, I'm happy.
Shout out to the stream team for joining us live right now on YouTube. Subscribe, like, comment, share the show. Email in your NBA questions, always to nodunks@theathletic.com. Keep them coming. And follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, @NoDunksInc. Fun show lined up here. Got some, really random, if I'm being honest, questions for you guys a little bit later. Twitter was popping last night, and I'm like, ooh, that's a fun question. Ooh, that's a fun topic we could turn into a question, so we'll get to that later. But let's start with the games, and let's just jump right into it. Ja Morant breaks his own Grizzlies record with 52 points. No, it is now 52 points. It's official. As he dazzles that Memphis crowd there with highlight play after highlight play after highlight play. Tass, I made the title of this show. I mean, there is nothing and everything left to say about Ja Morant. I truly believe that. This guy is unbelievable.
Well, he truly is doing things that we've never seen before. I think that's sincere. Everybody wants to talk about the dunk on poor Jakob Poeltl, which was a unique dunk. I mean, that was a show of athleticism.
I heard he died last night. That's what I saw a lot going through the internet. Ja Morant ends 7-footer's life.
He's not 7 feet. Anyway.
They put it in the AP as well. They're like, we're not even giving him a name right now. He's just a 7-footer. They don't want to embarrass him.
AP is ending people's lives now. I know AP
that was a YouTube highlight, but I did see that he was mentioned as a 7-footer and then expanded upon later on.
Well, because AP is going for them hot takes as well. They're jumping in on the hot takes game. Okay, the dunk we'll get to in a sec. I've never seen an inbound play that far. I mean, that was literally as far as you could pass a ball from Steven Adams underneath his own hoop, like 92 feet to Ja Morant, basically under the other team's hoop. It was almost in the corner by their own bench where it was a jump ball. It was almost like, where is the ball? Because he just elevated a bunch of other grown men because he can get higher than other players and was able to catch it and shoot it in 0.4 seconds and score. And maybe the scorekeeper was looking at it like, I don't know where the ball is. I mean, what's happening there? Because I think everybody was like, what is going on there? And maybe he didn't start the clock fast enough, but who cares? He put it up and scored. And then, the dunk on Jakob, that was just too much space from Jakob Poeltl. And I think that's the important thing. Like, really, when you get to what Ja Morant is and what he's doing is if you give him space, if you're a big and you give him space, those fast twitch fibers, he looked at Jakob Poeltl many times on the dunk as well and just saw like a glimmer of space and was able to just get into it and be able to go side to side so quickly that it's like he's a flash and he's gone and he's at the rim and I would like to see the floor light up to show his footsteps because it is incredible. And how he got to 52 is because he's just so freaking quick in those moves and the threes are coming along. And a bunch of highlights, as YouTube said, that you can just look at as it was like, the highlights were the headlines were one game, this dude dropping the dunk, that 0.4 second toss up, whatever the hell that thing was, the 3 balls. And just
bunch of other like slithering layups around guys in traffic.
He's special, man. He's just athletic and ridiculous.
Anything to add to that?
I think DeAndre Jordan was making that same pass the night before. He just had no one to throw it to.
Yeah.
That's the only difference here. But the thing about Ja Morant last night is, the highlights just crazy. He only had 30 shots in 34 minutes and scored 52 points. He got a win against a team. The Spurs were sort of keeping it there. Ja Morant came out and said, no, it's my game.
Yeah.
His maturity is well beyond his years for his ability to take a game like that out of control last night, because with the hype and all the dunk and the crowd getting into it, it's easy to sort of get lost a little bit in the momentum, but they went on to win the game, which is obviously the most important thing here. I don't remember, and I don't want to be too hyperbolic here, but I don't remember someone in recent history, including your Derrick Roses and LeBron and even a Westbrook, whatever, who have had so many highlights game to game within the game that are kind of different. Not just like a dunk. It's the layup. We see the block against the Lakers, He's got a variety of the game I talked about yesterday was on Saturday night and had 5, I think, different plays from that, like the scoop layup, the 360. What else did he have? He had a dunk. Of course, he always does. But he's just putting on a show every single night, and it's leading to his team winning. And he's putting himself firmly in the MVP conversation. So this is not just empty stats or one guy doing it against teams and he's getting blown out. The most important thing, he's winning games. His team is winning games. So he's got a very, very impressive case. I don't think he wins MVP, but I think he gets probably top 4 right now.
Yeah, people said he snatched the wine list at the MVP table last night. Let me see that. I'll order the next bottle because he's definitely has a seat there. Trey, what is there honestly to say about this guy at this point?
I don't know. We talked about the refs already. Like, we literally talked about the scorekeepers with regards to Ja Morant. We talked about his muscle fibers. He made 4 free throws last night. That's crazy. The guy drives to the lane all the time. He's one of the most athletic players there, and he is like Tony Parker-ish with the way he can score in the paint as a guard and shoot an incredible percentage. And he made 4 free throws last night, scoring 52 points. The guy's getting hacked all the time, but sometimes he's just a little too slithery to really get contact on him, so he doesn't go to the line. But 22 for 30. That's incredible efficiency. That's the efficiency you see from a 7-footer,
exactly.
Not a guy who's 6'3" going over the top of 7-footers. So incredible stuff. A little bit of a revenge game, I think, for Ja Morant as well. Not being named to Team USA last summer. Could have been named as a replacement. Greg Popovich said, no, give me Keldon Johnson. And Ja said, okay, I'll give you 52 next time we see you.
The one thing I loved about the dunk on Pirtle, and it would have been funny if that new Wordle NBA game Pirtle would have been just shut down this morning. Like, he destroyed it with his dunk on Pirtle, but it's still there. Is I love the courtside crowd exploding, jumping up. I mean, in NBA games, in big dunks, the rest of the arena, the nosebleeds, a lot of people in the lower bowl will jump up. But the courtside fans, the first couple of rows, they're too cool for school usually.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they're not even paying attention, whatever. You don't see everybody pop up. And go watch the dunk again, because I've watched it a million times here up to this point. Everybody, it feels like an and one mixtape.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's going on. It's almost like they should have been allowed to storm the floor, rush the court and stuff like that. It would have been amazing.
It's kind of a meme, isn't it, where a guy goes up and everyone sort of jumps with
with
it, in slow-mo like that. And that's what it was, the crowd. It's like a soccer crowd when they just score a big goal right at the end of the game or something. It's like everyone just erupts. And, Pete Pranica on the call, he's great. But going back to the Bulls game as well, I mean, even Adam Amin and Stacey King were like, whoa! You don't hear a lot of that from the opposing team, especially in a home game. So he's just captivating everybody right now with these incredible plays.
While this game is going on and Ja Morant is putting up highlight after highlight, our very own Lee Ellis is texting the group saying, I'm buying tickets to the Grizzlies-Hawks game. It's on Friday night. It's on the 18th or something like that. Who's in? During the game, this guy got you so hyped that you're like, I gotta go see him in person.
Yeah.
And so tickets were purchased.
I forgot that he was coming to town, and then I was just like, all right, I've got to go now. It sort of jogged my memory, because the last game I went to before the pandemic was a Memphis Grizzlies game, and he was good, but it wasn't what we're seeing right now. So I was like, I got to jump on that. This could sell out this game.
Standing room only.
Standing room only is the only way to watch a game these days. Because if he throws down a dunk,
You're always standing.
I'm ready to jump.
We'll have to sit down to do the opposite. It is amazing. And it was cool to see his teammates Like, they were actively trying to get him to 50.
100%.
They were so locked in on that. And then you saw the group photo at the end. Everybody is so ecstatic for him. I mean, he's not only, of course, the leader of this team, but he's a likable leader. And they wanted him to get this record. And they were hyped. And then he's dancing through the tunnel. Like, if you had just shown this to people last night that maybe don't follow the NBA, you would have thought, like, the Grizzlies won the championship. Like, even the shot from the 92-foot Adams pass, where he's like getting mobbed. It looks like they've won. It looked like they won the game. Like the game was over, but it was only halftime. It's just, it keeps being said, but the vibes are amazing with this squad, and you keep tweeting how you want them to get up to second place, so they have a better chance to win a playoff series or two, or hell, maybe even further. Who knows with this team?
Oh yeah, I just want this to keep rolling, baby, because the atmosphere in Memphis is wild. I mean, we've got us who've been involved with the NBA for so long and are ready to buy tickets, not even willing to take press passes. I mean, we're not waiting for these press passes. No, we want to get in the building. I mean, that just speaks to this special thing going on. I mean, it's true. And maybe it's because it's a smaller guy and it's just so special to watch this dude. But yeah, I mean, one of my favorite moments this year is being able to see him in Memphis. I can't make it to that game, or I'd go one more time. But just being able to see him in person, yeah, I'd love to see this situation. Yeah, it feels like a college town. Everybody jumping up, obviously, when he threw down the dunk. Everybody, on the internet just joining in. I saw, you watched it 100 times. Everybody watching it 100 times just to see each different person in the first row, second row, third row, and how they react. I saw Molly Morrison, who's from Memphis, tweet, "Oh, that's my dad," who jumped up in the blue sweater behind the bench. I mean, there's just everybody's together here on this Grizzlies bandwagon, and it's because one dude he's so good at going, jumping up over people. He's so good at going north south when he wants to go, but he's also going east west. He's stepping all over the lane. He's just so freaking quick that it's got everybody just feeling good.
Even Molly Morrison's dad.
Even Molly Morrison's
in a sweater.
dad.
That's wild, man.
Who would be on your list, Trey, of like, I'd putting down decent money to go see them in person, and you watched a lot of basketball, but obviously even still as a fan, you're like, I need to see this guy right now in person. So Ja Morant, I assume, is on that. It obviously was when we drove to Memphis, for crying out loud. Who else, if you were to make a list of, I don't know, 3 or 4 other guys, would you have on your list?
Curry still for me is must watch. When the Warriors come to Atlanta, they're one time a year. That's a game that you want to try and finagle some tickets for. I mean, you guys saw the warm up routine he's got going on now, where you just take a step back and keep making it every single time. So that's super watchable. We did see a Luka game here in Atlanta not too long ago. I think that's a big one. I also think you're looking at Western Conference teams, right? Yeah. Teams that are only come and visit one time a year. That's a huge one. Big name players that I haven't seen live, Giannis, I think, would be number one. I just haven't seen one of his games in person, and to see like the speed and the size at which he plays would be huge.
We were at the Fortress together.
Were we?
In the playoffs. You videoed me. You videoed me chanting.
He got hurt. 10. Yeah, he got hurt that game.
Was that the game?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Definitely was.
Oh,
like I said. Forgettable. Never mind. I don't want to see Giannis anymore. It makes it too easy. I will say this. Ja Morant is the most watchable guy in the league since Steph Curry in the 2014-15 season. When he won his first MVP, kind of came out of nowhere, took that huge leap, much the same way Ja Morant did. I do think the Warriors, they beat the Spurs or something. Or maybe it was the Nuggets that year in the playoffs the year before, right? And then in the 14-15 season, he took that huge leap and became like an MVP candidate. Obviously, he won it the next year as well. That's what this feels like to me. I mean, everybody wants to compare Ja Morant to somebody we've seen in the past. He's been compared like, you say Penny, I say Derrick Rose. Everybody says Russell Westbrook. Some people are starting to say John Wall now.
Bill Simmons is saying young Michael Jordan, in terms of how he attacks the rim and slithers around people.
I'll take Dwayne Wade. I'll take Dwayne Wade for sure when it comes to that. But that's what it is. Every once in a while, there's a little guy who kind of catches the league on fire, and nobody is sure how to deal with him, and he's the most watchable guy in the league. And right now, that's Ja for sure.
Mm-hmm. Especially Popovich didn't know how to deal with him. Just kept sending Pirtle at him, and that wasn't.
Poor Pirtle, man.
It wasn't working, man.
Yeah, there'd be a pick, Big Adams pick usually, and the switch happens, and now it's Ja Morant against Pirtle. I think he had been shook for the rest of the game after he got dunked on there in the first half, because he scored on him another like 3 or 4 times at the rim.
Pirtle was doing the right thing. was there.
I know.
You know, it's just when Ja just sort of says, I'm just going to jump over you. I mean, it's almost that sort of Vince Carter, Fred Weiss, where it's like, it doesn't matter who's there. I'm just rising up, and I know I can sort of outstretch this guy to get there. Like some of the photos coming through of how far away he was, leaping, stretching that arm out were incredible.
And I think it was he explodes by Primo, is it?
Yeah, I think that's right,
He
yeah.
dunks on Pirtle, and
Yeah.
so I think I reshared your video, or maybe it was the video from the Grizzlies. I said, wow, look at the guy sitting courtside. He knew, because there's a guy, and there's actually two guys, they stand up immediately when he goes around Primo. Like, they know Pirtle's in trouble here, and everybody is pointing out, yeah, that's his dad.
Yeah.
His dad sitting in the courtside. I said, well, yeah, that makes sense. I guess dad knew he was about to catch a body, kill a 7-footer.
Yeah, you mentioned even the photo after. Like they're always in the group photos if something cool is happening. They made sure they got him to 50, and Ja looked up at the scoreboard to see that he put 50 on the board, and he is. You know, everybody else's cheerleader on that team. Like, he'll go on Twitter and tell everybody that Desmond Bane should be most improved player. So, you know, it's a yin and a yang. Like, it's a give and a take with that guy.
Yep.
You know, he unlike other superstars that might just be in their own limelight a little bit. Like, he is such a big cheerleader for everybody on that roster. So it's just a nice feeling.
Great
nice
story
feeling.
right now in the NBA. And if you get a chance, I mean, look, this is the obvious, but yeah, go see him, because he can. You're right, Lee. He's doing this every night, it feels like, over the last little stretch here, where there are 3 to 10 like what type of plays that you see in a game. You're like, I don't remember seeing that before, or wow, that reminds me of one of these other Hall of Famers, stuff like that. It's pretty special stuff.
You're getting a guaranteed highlight when he plays against the Hawks, because if you have a substandard defense the way the Bulls do and the way the San Antonio Spurs do, you're asking for your center to get dunked on or to be embarrassed in the lane at some point. So sorry, Capella. Capella's going to get crammed on.
You said you got family here in town that Friday night.
Yeah, my mom is back in town, and the last time she was in town, we drove to Memphis to see Ja Morant.
Wow.
I told her this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So I could not do it the second time 2 months later.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, well, we'll be down at the Fortress.
Can't wait.
Let's keep going here. Gabe Vincent scores 20 as the Heat remain hot, topping the Bulls 112-99. These are two of the best teams in the Eastern Conference, Trey, but the Heat looked a lot better last night.
I would say one of the most frustrating things when you're a fan of a team is when there's just a random player out there who destroys your team multiple times.
Yeah, like Brad Wanamaker and me and
like
the
a
Raps.
Wanamaker, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I saw Celtics fans were tweeting about Sadiq Bey this week. He shoots 55% from 3 against the Celtics, 33% against any other team, but he kills the Celtics, and for whatever reason, it's Gabe Vincent who owns the Bulls. 20 points, 4 threes, 3 assists last night for Vincent. Second time this season already that he's had 20 against Chicago. He had a 16-point fourth quarter earlier this year. The guy's only scored 20 or more points 7 times total in his career, averaging 9 points per game this season, but 20 twice against the Bulls. This was, it ended up being a close game, but not really. This was a huge win for the Heat. They outshot the Bulls on percentages. They made more threes. They won on the glass. They shot more free throws. They had more fast break points. The Bulls were competitive in the fourth quarter after the game was over, and that's why this is not a 25-point win for Miami. Miami locks down the season series 3-0. Take a 2-game lead for first place in the Eastern Conference, and the Bulls are asking a lot of questions, and people have a lot of questions about the Bulls because they've really struggled against the best teams, specifically in the Eastern Conference. The loss to the Heat, to me, is so similar to the loss to the Grizzlies because they look outclassed, and it looks like they're not responding to the physicality that the other teams are bringing, that the Heat and the Grizzlies have brought. It's the same problem for them against the other teams in the Eastern Conference who they would have to theoretically beat to make a conference finals. The 76ers and the Bucks, just bigger, stronger teams. Post-game, Billy Donovan said, "We don't have a lot of guys who are battle-tested." And then he called out DeMar DeRozan, who's gone far in the playoffs, and then obviously Tristan Thompson and Alex Caruso are champions. So that's a guy that's been there for 6 months, a guy that's been there for a week, and a guy who has been there for 6 months and has missed most of the season. Levine obviously never made the playoffs. Vooch never got out of the first round. They got to figure out how to win some of these games against teams that like hit you in the face.
Yep.
And you got to respond and be like, not just turtle, go into your shell. At this point, they really need Caruso back. That, to me, is like the huge vibe check for the Bulls. He just brings so much intensity. He obviously brings the defense, which I think is huge, but more so just his attitude on the court and his nonstop competitive nature, I think will help the Bulls. We saw that when he came back earlier this season after being in COVID protocols, but then he got hurt right away again. So he's getting closer to returning, which will help the Bulls, but Yeah, it seems like there are probably 4 very good teams in the Eastern Conference, and the Bulls quite likely are number 4 on that list.
Yeah. What do you think about the Miami Heat here? I think they have sort of gone under the radar a little bit all season long in terms of like us talking about them, maybe the rest of the media talking about them, and here they are with a 41-21 record, and this is with guys that have like, Butler missed time and Bam missed time. Lowry not playing last night; he missed a good chunk of time with family issues, but still an elite team, 7th overall in offense, 6th in defense, an incredible net rating, top 5. I mean, this team, they should be included with all these title contenders. Should they not? Yeah.
I don't know why we aren't sort of giving them more credit, but they've sort of snuck up because of the other storylines we've seen, particularly with the Philadelphia 76ers. They've been a big one, and the Bucks. I mean, they're
and
struggling.
The Bulls.
And the Bulls.
Yeah.
So they've sort of taken away that limelight, and this is exactly what the Heat like. Just fly under the radar, play really good defense, be a deep team, because you mentioned Kyle Lowry out last night for personal reasons. Again, he missed some time earlier in the season. So to miss him, and I've spoken about this before, I think he's just so important for their offense, how he gets them going. When he's not there, their offense tends to really slow down. Jimmy Butler didn't have a great game there last night, but this is perfect. They're deep. They're very well coached. They play both ends of the floor. They are going to be tough, whoever they face. Certainly the first round, they're going to get through that, no problems. And then that second round, if they were to face, potentially a Milwaukee Bucks, that would be a great rematch, because I think they're much better equipped to defend Giannis this season than they have been in seasons gone by. So that's where
they took one of their guys.
Yeah, exactly. PJ, and
Round
last year
3, the rubber match. That'd be crazy, right? Because the Heat beating the Bucks in, I guess that was 1920 in the bubble. That was like, what are the Bucks ever gonna do?
Yeah.
And then they destroyed them last year in the playoffs, and now it kind of felt like the Heat were scuttling. So I would love that matchup. A rivalry in the playoffs.
Exactly.
Wild stuff.
And because it was a Reza on him last year, Giannis. So that doesn't even, you may as well put me on him in that point. So, Miami are just cruising along perfectly right now, letting everyone else sort of fight and scrap over each other. And they're obviously in a very strong position to take home court for the entire Eastern Conference playoffs.
Yeah, what do you think, Miami?
Absolutely the most overlooked team in the Eastern Conference at the top of the picture, at the top of the conference. There's a lot of good teams, a lot of good storylines we talked about. You didn't even mention the Nets or the Cavs as just teams that we've been talking about, while the Heat, they continue to plug and play a bunch of guys. The good thing about the fact that they've had all these injuries is that Lowry, Butler, Bam should all be pretty fresh when it comes to the postseason and ready to go and give those old bodies, those old bodies should be able to give as much as they possibly can for a 2-month run. They are, they're weathered, and they've like been around, so they know how much they have to give in the postseason. So that's exciting for them. You're watching, their defense yesterday really frustrate the Bulls.
I thought they were locked in last night against the Bulls. In that first quarter.
8 turnovers for the Bulls in the first quarter.
They were everywhere.
It was nice to see Levine pissed a little bit. I like seeing Levine pissed. Usually he's like a no-emotion guy, but he was pretty angry towards the end of this game. And, they desperately missed Caruso and Lonzo Ball on that side. But the Heat, the strange thing is, their pecking orders is sort of, what's coming. Kyle Lowry will be the starting point guard over Gabe Vincent, who is there right now. But they're bringing back Victor Oladipo, should be ready to come back in the next couple of weeks, which is strange. Is he going to be part of the rotation? Can he add anything? I mean, they're going to play him very minimal minutes, but they're super deep. They are the 1 seed. Yeah, as Trey said, by a couple games now, and now that they're healthy, now that they're clicking everywhere, they know this 20-game run here. They got 20 games left. This is when they put that Heat culture. This is when it starts. They're gonna go the rest of the. I mean, just see that Bam Adebayo block.
That was amazing.
It was literally Giannis' block from the finals. Guard a guy on the perimeter, get back, and stop the alley-oop pass. Sexy times for the Heat. The Bucks should still be the favorites because they won the whole thing. But the Heat are right there as the 1A, like in that second tier. I think it's the Bucks, and then everybody else. I think the Heat are like 1A, along with the other teams we mentioned.
Heat fans are going to be pissed, and in a weird way, rightfully so, though he hasn't played enough games. When it's all said and done, that Bam will not be an All-NBA center, because when you watch Bam play right now, he is elite. He raises their ceiling so high, and their title chances. But he's only played 37, so what will it be at the end of the year? Whatever. It's going to be it's going to still be Embiid and Jokic are 1-2 there as your centers on your All NBA team, and then who's going to be the third guy? Gobert, maybe Towns.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Bam will very
yeah.
likely not be an All-NBA selection at the center position, and like I can already see it now. Heat fans are going to be like, especially if they're the number 1 seed, they're like, "Are you kidding me? This guy's like 20-10, 4." I mean, you see the defense, like he's awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe he gets an all defensive, selection there on second team, but he is when he is back and playing at this level. And this was without Lowry last night. Jesus, that starting 5 is that's tough to score on. Kyle, Butler, Bam, PJ. Who am I forgetting? And then
Duncan
you got your shooter.
Robinson,
Yeah.
Hero, maybe?
So, one guy you can sort of like, quote unquote, hide because it doesn't matter. The other 4 guys are elite defenders. That's a nightmare. I wouldn't want to play them, that's for sure. And the Bulls don't want to.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Right.
If you want some Heat buzz, this is a big week for them. They play the Bucks in Milwaukee on Wednesday. Then they got the Nets in Brooklyn on Thursday, followed by the 76ers,
Cool.
Rockets,
Wow.
that's a W. And then next Wednesday, they play the Suns. So they're playing 4 title contenders in the next week.
Yeah.
Win all of those, you're getting a lot of talk.
There'll be a lot of And I'm excited to see Bam and PJ on those bigs, like you said, Embiid and Giannis there in Milwaukee and stuff like that. It'll be fun. All right, let's keep it going here. Next game. Well, this is just a feel-good story. Markelle Fultz scored 10 in his return. Magic beat the Pacers 119-103. It was cool to see the standing ovation there from the somewhat sparse Orlando Magic crowd, but everybody in attendance getting out. Cole Anthony giving him a huge hug as he checked in. He played 16 minutes. He shot 5 of 7. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on his actual shot mechanics. It appeared smoother to me. Now, this guy hasn't played in 14 months because of the ACL injury. There wasn't less hitch to that shot. Am I crazy?
No, not at all. That
Yeah.
was beautiful looking
Yeah.
stroke there. I remember seeing like draft videos of him. That's what it sort of looked like more, where he was smoother with his whole execution of how he shot the ball. He went inside, had some really nice handles as well.
Yep.
Had the 6 assists. He looked beautiful. I mean, if he can pan out, he's had the injury. He's obviously had the terrible start to his career. If he can pan out, this is a great pickup.
He's only 23.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. It
I mean, it
feels,
feels like we've talked about him for a decade. Yeah.
But that shot is obviously so important because it looked like the guy hadn't shot a basketball before in his first year or two there in Philadelphia. So he's been working on it. Great. I'm really happy for him. I mean, I think people just want the best for this guy because we all saw him out there on the stage as a number 1 pick, and it's like, how did he get picked number 1 when he can't seemingly shoot the ball? And then he had all sorts of crazy issues as well, sort of with the team off the court. There was videos of him, remember, and he was like almost bobbling the ball before he shot it. Gets the injury, now he comes back. So hopefully there's a happy ending here for him. And at only 23, he's still got plenty of time to figure it all out.
And he had a couple like decent games, I remember, last season before the injury, right? At the start of that season. He had like a 26-point game, and he had another good game in there. Maybe we flirted with 20. So there was like, ooh, Markelle Fultz, okay. I mean, he's getting a chance here in Orlando where, there are not a lot of bright lights on him and probably the best situation for him. Then he had the injury, unfortunately. But yeah, what'd you think of his return here for the Orlando Magic?
Definitely not a lot of bright lights, not a lot of headlines the last couple months. He's been in practice for 2 months. We haven't talked about him once, us basketball nerds. I mean, he's been on a court from December on, and here he is looking like the best version of himself. It's not the quickest of releases, but if he gets a little space, he can shoot it. So it's, a project that is in a good spot in Orlando. It sure seems like it's easier for him when he's outside of a big market like Philadelphia and what happened there. It's a fun team to root for if you're a basketball geek. What are these backcourt guys like? Who's gonna really pan out? From Jalen Suggs, as well as Markelle Fultz and Cole Anthony. If they're all great, along with R.J. Hampton, then it gets crowded. But more than likely, they're just hoping that a couple of them get really good, along with Franz, and then they can take off. I mean, this is a bad team. And they also have Jonathan Isaac. You remember him? He hasn't played forever. But Jonathan Isaac, probably the projected best player of the future. He hasn't played forever because he's been hurt. And then you got a bunch of guys that are just fun to rally around. So hopefully Markelle Fultz, he was happy out there, and they gave him, even if it was just, what was it, only 16 minutes. They gave him the locker room shower afterwards,
great.
and everybody loved it.
The Magic have won 2 in a row here too, going for their for a 3-game win streak is on the table here. I think they have a pretty easy opponent. Maybe they play the Pacers
15 and
again.
47.
They're 15 and 47, which is tied in terms of wins with the Pistons and the Rockets. So keep your eye on that if you're a tankathon
I would shut
guy.
down Fultz then.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
him down.
it might help him too much there. But anything to add to the Markelle Fultz return, Trey?
No, my takeaway was the same as yours. Great hug.
It was a
From
great
Cole
hug.
Anthony. That was a big, deep hug, especially from a guy who could theoretically take your spot, right? Like,
Yep.
I mean, obviously they're on the same team. They care about each other, but they're competitive, surely, with each other. And like Tess said, for whatever reason, the Magic brought in Fultz, and then they drafted another point guard in Anthony, and then they drafted another point guard in Jalen Suggs. That's just kind of the Magic style. They find one kind of player they like and then just get as many of them as they possibly can. So we'll see which one of them actually pops. I don't know. It seems like there's ways to probably keep 2 of them around long term. We'll see which 2 they are.
I'm going to throw the rest of the games at you. You can touch on any of them that you want to. We had Towns hitting a late 3-pointer as the Wolves held off the Cavs 127-122. Game of runs in that one. Oh, my goodness. Scottie Barnes, baby, made his first 11 shots as the Raptors romped, is what I meant to say, 133-97 in Brooklyn after I gave the Raptors a loser of the weekend. A big wake-up call there for them. Bucks scored 44 in the second quarter. They rolled past the Hornets 130-106. That was a blowout. And De'Aaron Fox, 29-10 to lead the Kings past the Thunder 131-110. Lee, there's 4 games. Which one do you want to talk about?
I feel sorry for Karl Anthony Towns and the Wolves because everyone was watching Ja Morant and they weren't really watching a great game end there for Karl Anthony Towns.
I was watching Crunch Time, actually.
Oh, were you? You're a sicko, man.
It was Ro Parrish and Sam Mitchell
Wow.
doing Crunch Time last night.
well-
and it was easy to find on the NBA.com app. On Leak, yeah.
Great.
It was right there. You had all your games to pick from, and then there was a little thing that said Crunch Time. That's why I clicked on it. I was like, this is still going.
Cool.
Okay, anyway.
Yeah, well, you mentioned it was a game of runs too, and the Wolves were down 14 early, then up 23 in the third. And then it was tied with like 35 seconds to go after Chetty hit a big 3. And then Karl Anthony Towns in the same building, he took home the 3-point shootout trophy just a week or so ago, steps back, hits one of his, no jumping threes, knocked it in. And
Rattled in.
It rattled in,
fine.
yeah. It was good. It was good. So it was actually a pretty interesting game. No Darius Garland here for the Cavs, who lose another one. They're fine. They're fine. Kevin Love had a great game off the bench there for them, but it does feel like the Cavs need everybody out there playing. Like everything.
There's no Karis LeVert, too.
No, Karis LeVert, he's out again too. So, but this was actually a really good game, especially in that fourth quarter when the Cavs were making that run, and Patrick Beverley committed. On the broadcast, they were saying, I can't remember who it was now, saying that's guaranteed either a flagrant or a clear pass.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Was it on Chetty?
It was on Chetty, yeah. And he wrapped him up. And Chetty's momentum, it wasn't nasty. It wasn't dirty.
It wasn't a flag.
No,
it was.
no.
Everybody thought it was maybe a clear pass.
Yeah, that's the only one because he kind of got him in front, but they sort of, I guess, said he was in front of him, Patrick Beverley, in the end. Anyway, Chetty only made 1 of 2 free throws, which kind of cost him in the end. But other than that, great game by both teams. And the Wolves, good victory for them to hang on, considering they nearly blew that 23-point lead.
Yeah. Were you watching your Wolves-Cavs game here?
Yeah,
I know
Karl
you
Anthony Towns, just a calm step back 3 to win that thing. He was just feeling it, and he said after the game, this arena is probably the most comfortable I feel in any arena. So
It's interesting.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun poll to ask all the NBA players outside of your own arena, which I assume they would say a lot. Which barn do you like shooting in the most? Like, because of the lighting, because of the sight lines, because of whatever.
I mean,
it's got to be. They probably have an answer. They're sickos. They're like, yeah, it was this one.
Yeah, for sure. I wonder, would they pick home? I mean, just because they
Well,
have to.
I would think
mean,
so, just because. Yeah, just because.
other than your own barn.
Yeah.
He won the 3-point contest in Cleveland a couple weeks ago, and now feeling good. So yeah, let's get ready for a Cavs Wolves finals where Karl Anthony Towns is feeling good about himself. Yeah, and the Barnes. Malachi Flynn, my boy, getting some minutes
He
there.
did play
He looked
really
great.
well.
He looked great. He filled in very well, and yeah, the Nets, what a Jekyll and what a Hyde from night to night. It's wild. And so they're going to Toronto tonight. No Kyrie Irving, unavailable. KD not playing. Obviously Ben Simmons not playing. Ben Simmons not practicing this week. Nash said pregame with a very raw voice. Steve Nash, in COVID protocols. He sounded sick, and then the announcement happened. So hopefully Steve Nash is okay.
Jack Armstrong in COVID protocols too. I saw.
Maddie
Devlin was. I don't know if you heard that.
It's happening all over with the broadcasters. But Ben Simmons definitely not practicing this week. So, yeah, cancel the trip. It ain't happening for us. Not going March 10th to Philadelphia. Because if he's not practicing this week, it would be jumping into Tuesday's game potentially, and then Thursday would be the game. So maybe getting in one game. It's not happening.
No.
Absolutely not happening. But hey, De'Aaron Fox is good now. What about that?
That was nice.
He's hot.
29-10. I mean, yeah, I'm sure we won't talk too much about that.
No, we won't.
Just back to the Scottie Barnes legit had one of the best all-around performances by a Raptor, and he's only a rookie. He had 28 points. He hit his first 11 shots, so he finished 12 of 14. 16 rebounds, which was tied for the second most by a Raptors rookie. 5 steals, tied for the most by a Raptors rookie, and he threw in 4 assists for good measure. That's a hell of a game. And Nick Nurse after the game said, we don't run a single play for him.
No.
I mean, he's basically Sean Marion. They're like, yeah, just... You'll get his.
Yeah.
and he will because of his motor. And he was everywhere. He was amazing in his game.
9 offensive rebounds because they don't run anything for him. But yeah, a nose for the ball, right? He's always there.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, that was, I mean, I'm joking that they went out and did that because I gave him a loser of the weekend. But it was like, as we talked about, it was like a much needed win to sort of, after those 2 brutal losses to the Hornets and Hawks. Here's another team right there in the mix with them when it comes to seeding, and they got that done. We'll see what happens here tonight in Toronto. Can they do it again? Can Malachi Flynn play like that
Freddie
again?
playing tonight?
I doubt it.
Yeah, they don't need to.
I don't know for sure. Any other thoughts, Trey, on any of those games from last night? Maybe you wanted to talk about De'Aaron Fox and his 29.
No.
No, I didn't think so.
No. I did what you did. I tuned in to watch Minnesota versus Cleveland, and the other games that allegedly were happening, I don't believe it. I simply don't believe it.
Okay. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, a bunch of random questions for you guys and everybody watching and listening. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, Tass.
Hey, Trey.
I really liked what you said yesterday about stance not being just about socks anymore.
Uh-huh.
Sure, they're versatile, colorful, and you can wear the logos on the inside or the outside of your ankle. Don't get me wrong. The socks are top drawer stuff.
They are.
But I want to tell you a little something about the other things you keep in your top drawer. That's right. Undies. I don't know if y'all have tried any Stance underwear, but I legitimately love their boxer briefs with feather seam construction, an exposed elastic core flex waistband, and my favorite part, Stance's proprietary butter blend.
More butter talk.
Butter blend. That's what they call the fabric their underwear is made out of. Butter blend. I love the butter blend. It started as a radical reinvention of your sock drawer, Stance did, and it's now expanding your entire wardrobe. With a full range of fits, prints, fabrics, and fun, Stance's super soft line of sweatpants and joggers, shirts, hoodies, hats, and more. It's time to embrace a life of superior comfort and creative expression with everyday active apparel that truly is stitched different. Angry snort emoji. Head on over to stance.com and get 15% off your first purchase by using promo code NODUNKS at checkout to apply. You can enjoy the color and comfort of a life less ordinary with Stance. Stitched different. Yeah. Angry snort emoji, angry snort emoji, angry snort emoji.
Gotta be careful doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Real close.
Oh,
Yeah.
here's an idea.
I think I got one.
Butter blend hankies.
Oh, I like that.
Nice and nappy.
Yeah.
Some soft cotton on your nose.
Very nice.
A question. Are those called Stacks, those underwear? Is that the brand name of, or am I mixing up with other underwear?
You're mixing up.
Oh, am I?
Oh,
Okay.
jeez. Cut that
out, JD.
Jesus,
I mean,
you're
yeah.
gonna lose us our money, man.
Underwear is underwear is underwear. Adrian! Adrian! You know Peloton has boxing? Lee, you were ducking. You know that has boxing. You were ducking and weaving yesterday.
Yes. Yeah, I was.
Put 'em up.
Here we go.
Okay,
Here we go.
yeah. Nice. Watch out.
I think I just ducked right into it.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's it.
Nailed it. It's taken every class.
Peloton boxing is hot right now. Danielle did it for a couple weeks. She really enjoyed it. She likes punching Bob in the face. I'm not huge boxing. I did a long time ago. My Peloton Adrian is Adrian Williams. He's my coach. And he does a lot of different things. I did a live 30-minute DJ session with him, a 30-minute run where he's got a DJ mixing songs.
What?
Yeah, and we're running
It's like
together.
Road Parish.
This is fun. This is a blast. I did a boot camp with Adrian on Monday. You do boot camps too, right?
I've done them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who hosts them?
This was years ago. I haven't done one for years.
Harry. I thought it was Harry.
Oh, no, that's Harry. That was Larry. Harry, Barry,
Yeah,
Larry.
that
I
was
don't know.
Harry's boot camp.
That's right.
Not
Yeah.
to be confused with Barry's.
They still send me emails, Barry's.
It's Harry's.
No.
I'm kidding. It's Larry's.
Anyway, I cheat on Adrian though on Peloton with Carrie's boot camp, not Carrie, not Larry. No, I cheat on him with a bunch of different hosts, different coaches.
Yeah.
I like my Friday 45 with Rebecca Kennedy. There's just a bunch of different packaged shticks. And if you package a shtick, I'm buying it. Yeah, I love my girl Jess Sims. It keeps things fresh. Working out, if you're doing it, that's all that frickin' matters. New workouts every day with Peloton, keeping it fresh. Licensed music, of course, with music theme classes. So visit onepeloton.com to learn more. That's ONEPELOTON.com.
You know, Mike Tyson, I think, watches our show because he tweeted just after our show yesterday, I used to fight anybody my trainer put me in with because I was confident I could beat any fighter in the world. Anybody could see that I was almost a master at evading punches coming at me. He was watching.
Oh, yeah, you had just said that.
I just said duck and weave. That's the way to beat Mike Tyson. But anyway, now, as an Australian, I'm legally obliged not to compliment anything that comes from New Zealand. But our next sponsor, Athletic Greens, seem to have found a loophole.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because in our household, when we get samples sent, if my wife gets hold of them first, they're basically her possession. She just takes them. And so she was trying out this Athletic Greens and she was drinking. She goes, hey, you want some? She goes, it's really good. And I said, sure, why not? She pours me a little cup. She gets the little thing out and gives it to me. I said, this is actually pretty good. She goes, I'll put it in the cupboard. But the cupboard is like, we've got multiple cupboards in it. So she doesn't tell me which cupboard. She just puts it in the cupboard. And then I'm looking for it the other day and I found it. And I go, oh, here's that Athletic Greens. This is really good. I'm going to make it. I'm pouring some more.
Yeah.
I'm drinking it going, wow, this is actually one of those, like substances that's actually really good that you mix in with water, right?
Yes.
So I wanted to find out more. I'm looking at the package. Made in New Zealand. I'm like, how can I go on camera and talk in a positive way about something from New Zealand? So JD, please geo-block this from Australia or else I'll never hear the end of it.
You're like Chris Farley when he found out he was drinking instant coffee and he's just raging, throwing everything everywhere.
Because, look, with that one scoop, Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food-sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. The special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. Do I look any younger since I've started taking
I think you do, actually.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, wow. That's great. And it gets even better because how's this, right? No, again, New Zealand leading the way. I can't believe I'm saying this. Athletic Greens is a climate neutral certified company and the company donates to organizations that helps get food to kids in need, including No Kid Hungry right here in the United States.
Respect.
After 45 years on Earth, the Kiwis have we've got him. We've finally got him. He's going to have to compliment us. And I am. And right now it's your time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system. Especially heading into the cold and flu season, it's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/nodunks. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/nodunks to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
All right, back with No Dunks here in the Classic Factory. This isn't Tweet of the Night. That's coming up later, and I've got that. But there were a bunch of tweets that piqued my interest last night that I thought, that can make for a fun question. And the first one, it's a bit of news. It's from Shams at The Athletic. He said that the Los Angeles Lakers intend to waive DeAndre Jordan and sign free agent guard DJ Augustin. Yes, DJ for DJ, going big to small. I guess just quickly, there are rumors that the Sixers might be interested in DeAndre Jordan. are you a fan of this idea? Does he have anything left to give in this league, getting up there in age and the position he plays and sort of what he didn't give to the Lakers? What do you think?
That's my thought. Is he going to play in the playoffs? Would he play, or is he just sort of a fill-in here for 20 games? That's what I imagine him being. My immediate thought is, okay, they gave away Andre Drummond as their backup center. Who is taking those minutes behind Joel Embiid right now that DeAndre Jordan would be better than?
Right.
And what's the answer? I mean, I didn't even look it up. The backup center is...
Willie Cauley-Stein is probably their backup center right now. You might get a B-ball Paul.
Yeah.
Those guys are better. Those guys are
Batty.
better than DeAndre Jordan.
Yes, I
That's
agree.
where we're at.
I guess he's a locker room guy for high fives.
He must be the greatest locker room guy
is.
of all time.
He
Right?
seems like a nice guy.
is.
Like
Very
everybody
nice guy.
wants
totally.
him around for a little bit at least, and then they were like, oh, maybe he doesn't really have it anymore. Okay.
I saw him cook some stuff. I want to cook with him. He's a very nice guy.
Yeah, he
I
must
guess that's
be.
what he is. And to be around just to eat minutes, because he just doesn't have the athleticism anymore to toss the ball to him. He used to be able to get up way over the rim.
Yeah.
That ain't happening. And he can't really defend on the perimeter. If the Lakers are saying goodbye, then yeah.
Yeah. That's a great point. If the Lakers are waving you right now with where they're at, then that's rough. But anyway, this
Love
came up.
DJ Augustin, though, with
Yeah,
the
hey,
Lakers.
look,
That's who's
DJ.
filling in.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
He's older.
Ron Sessions.
They somehow got older. He's older than DeAndre Jordan. I think he's a year older.
Wow.
But it came up on the Top Shot Hot Boys yesterday, and shout out to everybody that joined Trey and I. We were ripping some packs on that. It came up because I was like, I don't know, was it a Drummond moment we had, or maybe it was a DeAndre Jordan moment? And then I was like, what's going to be weirder? And I threw this at TK as like, that Drummond made an All-NBA team or that DeAndre Jordan did? And then I was like, hold on, let me just fact check that. Whoa, DeAndre Jordan made 3 All-NBA teams.
He was a first teamer once.
He
wasn't
was.
he? Yeah.
And then 2 third teams.
Yeah.
3 All-NBA selections
yeah.
for DeAndre Jordan. I mean, I'm not meaning to pile on the guy here, but
No.
that is really crazy. And then we had Mike Zakarian there from Team Hold in the chat saying, that's a pretty fun question. What are some other sort of questionable or All-NBA selections that have aged poorly, or at least you're like, what the hell? So that's the cue for you guys here at the table. That's the cue for everybody on the stream team, everybody listening later. I want to know, off of the DeAndre Jordan making 3 All-NBA teams, is there another All-NBA selection where you're like, oh, that's just odd or looks bad or aged poorly, however you want to put it? Anyone come to mind?
Yeah, well, DeAndre Jordan did make an all-star team as well.
He only made 1 All-Star
Yeah,
game, but
but
3
3,
All-NBA
yeah.
selections. That's also weird.
So I sort of went down that path and I tried to find guys who were all NBA but not all stars, and I found 3. I stopped at about 1995. I was like, all right, I've got enough.
Okay.
Al Jefferson in 2014 was all NBA third team, never an all-star.
Okay.
Good player, decent player. One of those probably could have, should have, maybe.
So he's on the Wolves in this
I think he was on
situation?
the Bob.
Probably the Bobcats.
Oh, he's on the
Yeah,
Bobcats.
I think he was on
Excuse
the
me. Oh, yeah.
Hornets. Like, were they Bobcats or Hornets? Anyway, he was on that team.
Maybe a Pacer? Nah.
No. And then another one was Andrew Bogut in 2010 was on the third team as the center. Never made an all-star team. That was his best year to make one, but he never did.
Interesting.
He was an
He was on an
all-defense.
All-NBA.
Yeah, and he was an all-NBA second team, all-defense as well. But never made an all-star team.
So this is Bucks Bogut.
Yes, of course, yeah. And then Rod Strickland made the second team in 1998. Now, I'm not questioning, he wasn't a very good player. He was a good player. He just never made an all-star team. So to make a second team and never make an all-star team is pretty unlucky. So those were the 3 that I found who never made an all-star team but did make all-NBA.
Okay. Those are great deep dive there.
Yeah.
Basketball reference. I like that.
Yeah, Al Jefferson was a Bobcat. You guys are
He was?
correct.
Okay. Does anyone else come to mind for either of you guys?
Go ahead, Trey.
Trey?
I'll make a different point. So
David
you go
Lee,
ahead.
I think, is a funny one. Made All-NBA with the Warriors in the 2012-13 season. Had a solid season, 18.5 points per game, 11 rebounds per game, shot 52% from the field. And the Warriors got so much better when they replaced him with Draymond Green to the point you're like, oh yeah, David Lee. That guy was a walking double-double for the Warriors back in the day. Also made an all-star team earlier in his career with the Knicks. Same thing. He was just putting up massive numbers season after season for a little bit of time there. And then suddenly it was small ball time. And David Lee, you would think would be a good small ball player, but maybe he should have shifted up to the 5 or something. I don't know what the deal is, but that's a weird one to me.
Very weird.
I think DeAndre Jordan making the center spot just kind of speaks to us having to change the positions for All NBA.
Right.
because you're kind of pigeonholing a guy in there that may not be one of the best quote unquote bigs in the league, but you have to have a center. So I think that's what kind of happened. He was playing on a really good team with the Clippers, obviously, and he was great defensively. He really was.
Yeah. I mean,
And
Chris
we missed
Paul
it.
really helped him get on to a couple All-NBA teams.
Yeah, well, like my general rule and me sort of not loving the Rudy Gobert picks in general, where you got to be able to create your own bucket a little bit. If you're going to be an All-NBA player, if you're going to be one of the best 15 players in the league, you kind of have to be able to score a little bit. And Rudy Gobert and DeAndre Jordan are guys, that need to be set up. But if you look, the years that DeAndre Jordan made it, Al Jefferson was in the mix there. I mean, Dwight was sort of at the tail end. Joakim Noah had a really short run, and then the Gasols were pigeon into the center spot. Andre Drummond made an All-NBA team. DeMarcus Cousins. That year that DeAndre Jordan was the best center in the league, the other two were Cousins and Andre Drummond. So
you're saying like there was the stretch there where we were reaching for second and third centers to put on All-NBA teams. Yeah,
if I'm looking
and now
back.
luckily we have it's sort of come back with
special.
Jokic and Embiid, as MVP winners and front runners, and and then of course like Bam and
now it's not a problem. Now it's not a problem. Yeah, and Towns. Yeah, it's like you got your 1-2 and Jokic and Embiid. Then picking Towns, Adebayo or Gobert as your third one.
Right.
Yeah. So maybe I'm wrong.
I will say there's a lot more bold on DeAndre Jordan's basketball reference page than I would have remembered. He led the league in field goal percentage 5 times, led the league in rebounding 2 times. I mean, that's solid center stuff. And like you're saying, I mean, the field goal percentages, you're catching alley-oops or offensive rebounds. That's what it is. But honestly, that's how Rudy Gobert makes all NBA teams as well.
Who's going to have a more memorable career then? DeAndre Jordan or Andre Drummond? When it's all said and done.
Well, I guess Drummond, I guess.
Just because of rebounding numbers? I don't know.
The team that DeAndre Jordan is on or was on will be remembered.
So unless Drummond has like an incredible resurgence here for the Nets and plays a pivotal part in a championship run, maybe he's helped out by that. That's unlikely.
I guess so.
I guess so. That's a fun question for everybody out there. Okay, next one. This is from BetMGM, our good friends over there. They tweeted, Ja Morant is running away with the Most Improved Player award at the current moment. And they say running, all caps locks, because they're sharing the MIP odds on BetMGM. And we're showing them here to you on YouTube. So if you're listening, I'm not going to go through all the names, but Ja Morant, minus 600. So an odds-on favorite to win MIP. You got Miles Bridges plus 750. You got Darius Garland plus 1,400, DeJounte Murray plus 1,600, Anthony Simons plus 3,500, and then it goes on. And even DeRozan, oh my God, is on this list. But I'm interested to hear your all take on this, because this feels weird to me. Ja Morant as a Most Improved Player, it almost like feels, I don't know, it feels almost disrespectful because he's like at the MVP table. So I just find that part weird. But maybe you disagree. Is Ja your MIP favorite, Trey, or do you also find it strange that a guy at that level is in the mix? What do you think about this whole thing?
This is the first time I've thought about the Most Improved Player award this year.
Okay.
That and the Sixth Man of the Year are like 2 awards that are kind of just out there right now. I'm like, Tyler Hero's probably going to win Sixth Man of the Year, right? It'll probably be Tyler Hero. And now that I see this, I think it's going to be Ja.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be. He's got the Giannis case.
And you're okay with it? Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
He's got the Giannis case. Went from good to great. Same as Giannis being a first-time All-Star. This was Ja's first season as an All-Star. He's no doubt their team MVP. For a team that has improved quite a bit. He's not going to win league MVP, most likely. So this is kind of like the junior MVP award, kind of, I think. So, I actually kind of do now think that Ja is the man, because there's not really another candidate that blows my socks off. I think would probably have Garland number 2. Similar case to Ja, but just a little bit lesser, being in their 3rd season, becoming All-Stars, being the engine that drives their team. And obviously the Cavs improved as well. You could say Murray is in the mix. Anthony Simons, I guess, is kind of the traditional.
Yeah.
He became a role guy. Now seems to be a bit of a cornerstone for the Blazers. That's a case we've seen before in MIP voting. But I don't know. I think it might be Ja. I kind of am convinced now.
Well, I mean, BetMGM and the betting odds agree with you. And I think recently, you're right. It's like guys that were good that went to all-star level great. Julius Randle last year, Brandon Ingram the year before that. Siakam was then the year before that. Now he wasn't an all-star that year, but he was well on his way. Oladipo, same thing. You said Giannis, exactly that happened. CJ didn't make it, but there's a lot. Jimmy Butler, another example. So of these last 8 years, a lot of these guys did the Ja Morant leap. But I guess the difference is he's leapt even higher, right? Like we have him at the MVP table. None of those guys I really listed in those particular years were top 4, top 5 in an MVP conversation. That's what's making this one strange.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah, it's similar to Giannis's case, as Trey said, but you're right. That year, Giannis wasn't an MVP candidate.
No.
But this could be, Ja's trajectory of, maybe next year. Or
well,
the
there
year
was
after.
one that you brought it up earlier in the show. Curry won MVP, and there was a good month or two buzz when he went on to win it again. Of people of wanting him to win Most Improved. And I was like,
he could win both.
Come on. I mean, I remember getting upset about that.
Yeah,
but
of course.
Do you have Ja Morant as your MIP favorite, and you're fine with it? What do you think?
Yeah, he'll win this award because he should win it because he has taken the biggest leap, I think. He's gone up from 19 points a game to 27 a game. He's shooting more. He's shooting better. He's getting more rebounds, fewer assists, but that's fine. The team's winning. He's made such a big staple. So I understand your case of he's almost a bit too above that award.
Yeah, it almost feels lame that we have him in the MVP conversation. Then, like Trey said, here's you're not going to get MVP, but here's the MIP.
Yeah, so I think what you're saying, it should go to someone more who's just taken a good leap this season and improved. Like Desmond Bain, his teammate, I think has been incredible this season. Yeah. He's not going to win the award because of what Ja is doing. So Ja will win the award, but there are some other guys with good case. Anthony Edwards has cooled off a little bit. I thought he was really good to start this season. And Tyler Hero, I can't believe he's at plus 25,000, right, to win the award.
He's not winning it.
He will not win it. So that is weird to me. But yeah, DeRozan in there is so. People do consider sometimes okay, he's had such a good season, maybe he could be most improved even though he's been an all-star
that
in years
would be
gone
an
by.
Insane one. Yeah.
I mean, I also think Jaren Jackson, his other teammate Ja Morant there in Memphis, he's had also a really, really good season. If you look at the stats though, they are certainly not significantly better than they've been over the other seasons. His impact on the game though has been much better. So but if you're a betting man, just go heavy on Ja Morant. He should win this very comfortably.
Okay.
I don't mind the Desmond Bain. I bet Bain over Jaren Jackson Jr. I mean, his numbers have essentially doubled. So it's not, good to MVP level, but it's
he's definitely
average,
improved.
Yeah, the
average
problem
NBA player
with Bain,
too.
though, is he's a second-year player. Yeah. Which is they all improve.
Sounds like Taylor Jenkins is running away with Coach of the Year award.
It's got a lot of these guys in the running for
Name
most
3
improved.
players as most improved.
Yeah. Well, it seems like the stream team is maybe split on this one. Yeah. Should Ja Morant be in MIP conversation, or should he just almost be off of this ballot? Should go to one of these other guys. But other people saying, yeah, why not? He's made the leap. It's pretty incredible. Final one from R. Calland on Twitter. Robbie Calland, good friend. Everybody's a friend of ours. He pointed out Tristan Thompson wearing number 3 is just dreadful aesthetics. He is not a single-digit guy. Stop this madness. That's what Robbie Calland tweeted last night. I did think it looks weird. I'm watching this Bulls Heat game last night. So I thought it was a fun question. Tass, you can get us started. Outside of maybe Tristan Thompson, maybe you disagree with Robbie, but what's the weirdest player jersey combo number going on right now?
I hear what you're saying, Robbie. Big guy, little number. Nobody likes it. Nobody likes it, especially because Tristan Thompson's worn higher numbers throughout his career. So to me, Montrezl Harrell is exactly the same. He's worn a higher number now with the Charlotte Hornets, only been there a couple of weeks. He's got a low number. He's got number 8, a single-digit guy. So it's weird. Listen, I'm like what happened in the NFL these days. I'm of that mentality. Wide receivers can have a single-digit number. I'm okay with that. Sure. Go crazy. They've changed it this year. Go crazy. To me, Montrez is a big who plays big, and he doesn't do outside stuff like Tristan Thompson, sort of same thing. If you're a Vooch, you can wear a single-digit number. 9. Yeah. Okay. He plays outside. But if you're strictly a big man, get on that 50 or that 55. That's not popular anymore in the NBA,
the
right?
big boy jersey.
Yeah, that's what it used
The
to
biggest
be.
guy, you got to wear 55. Sewing side patches into the side.
Yeah.
Shout out my guy Chilo.
Yeah. Sorry, big guy. Yeah, that was my man Mark Hoffinger in high school.
Daryl Smith's for me.
Yeah, throw him the jersey. Put on the 55. But it's just it's a disrespected jersey. Right? Nobody wants to wear 50 or 55.
Is there one? Is there a 55 right now with a little guy? That was always weird. Jason Williams wearing
that's a
55.
good one.
Oh yeah,
That's
that's a weird
hilarious,
one.
yeah.
Okay, so you're going Montrezl Harrell.
Yeah, I think also if you were 8, maybe Kobe changed my mentality. You kind of have to be really good, like superstar level. And now, everybody wears 23. There's a lot of guys who wear
of
23 to emulate MJ, but number 8s, they generally. They're not always amazing, but there's some number 8s in the Hall of Fame. Little trivia time.
Oh.
Guys who wore number 8 who are in the Hall of Fame. Kobe Bryant, obviously.
Yeah, Antoine Walker is not, unfortunately.
He didn't make it. No.
8. Wow.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
That's tough.
I'll help you out
Yeah.
because Walt Bellamy, Nate Clifton, or Nat Clifton, Earl Lloyd in the 50s, and then 3 guys who wore it very briefly. So I'm just going to give them to you. It's trivia time for me. Just,
Yeah, what
just
was
giving you
this
the
trivia?
answers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's too hard. Were you going to guess Earl Lloyd? I don't think so.
No.
These are all
Definitely not.
players from the 1950s and 60s.
Yes, okay, but there's one. There's a couple in the 80s. A couple in the 80s, but they wore them for 1 or 2 seasons.
Wow, that's weird.
Moses?
Moses Malone.
Hey, nice pull.
Oh, there's a big guy with a single-digit number.
Yeah.
Often.
Number
There's
8.
2 a lot,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And he wore a good call. He wore 8 for 2 seasons. Now there's 2 more.
Okay.
Just
From the 80s?
yes, 80s and 90s.
Okay.
Yeah. This guy wore it at the absolute end of his career,
so it's a
which was
really
in the
weird one.
middle of the 80s. So he played in the 70s, known for another team, but then he went to someone's favorite team here at the table.
George
Gervin.
George Gervin.
Wow.
4 + 4 = 8.
Nice. That's what it was, huh?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. And
guaranteed.
a European player who wore it, you definitely didn't know him with the team that he wore 8 on. You knew him for playing with another team. One of the most notorious early European players that came over.
And he's in the Hall. So
Tony
it's-
Kukoc?
No. Because, he
Vlade?
was...
Marshallonis?
Marshallonis, that's right. He wore number 8 for 1 year. Last thing, Jay Scrubb wears 0 for the Clippers. Scrub wearing a 0. Not a good match, I don't think, right? And maybe, he's playing into it a little bit, but whatever. That's
Okay.
it.
What do you got for weird player jersey combo?
Luka Doncic is number 77. That's a hockey
That was your
number.
pick?
That was my pick too, yeah.
He's going to go down as one of the best players in NBA history, quite likely. His jersey will most likely be retired, and it's going to be number 77. I would ask you guys to do a trivia of number 77s, but you would get a lot of them, but you wouldn't really care. Bargnani with the Knicks,
Yeah.
77. Damari Carroll with the Spurs, 77. Ersan Ilyasova, Bucks and Jazz, 77. It's basically role guys, except for Luka Doncic is out there looking like a left tackle,
Yeah.
shooting step back threes.
Looking like Paul Coffey.
I thought it was Capono too, but he wore 72 on the Lakers, I think.
That's a weird number.
Yeah, that's
I would say the most notable 77 thus far would either be George Mirasan, 7'7",
Yeah.
or Vladimir Radmanovich, who wore
Yeah.
it for like every one of his teams.
Yeah.
He used to wear 7 growing up, right? And then... why did he go to 77?
Dwight Powell, number 7?
Something happened. Yeah.
Maybe it's retired.
So that's who you had on your list.
I
too.
had Doncic too because the question was for a current league today.
Yeah.
And I thought it is kind of weird that it's sort of we've just assumed because he's so good it doesn't really matter, but he just rocks number 77 out there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of weird, but he can pull it off. So who cares?
He changed on Real Madrid. He wore it for a while, but then there was an older player, Clément Perpelic, who was wearing 7, so he said, "I'm wearing 77."
Clément.
Oh,
That was an older Slovenian player. Yeah.
so that's why we have it. All right. Well, fun question for everybody listening and watching. What is, in your opinion, the weirdest player / jersey number combo in the league today or of all time? Have some fun with it. We got to take one more break. When we come back, tweet of the night, and we'll start up a brand new pick'em for the month of March. Don't go anywhere.
If you dream of comfortable sheets at a price that won't keep you up at night, look no further than Bowl and Branch. Turns out the sheets I had before were garbage. Trash. I feel like such a fool sleeping on scratchy, hot, substandard sheets when I could have been sleeping on Boll and Branch sheets this whole time. Boll and Branch makes the softest organic sheets on the market. They get better with every wash. Yeah, and Skeets, you mentioned that yesterday, and I immediately stripped my bed and threw them in the wash to get them even softer, but then I forgot about them and I had to go back to the substandard sheets last night. Terrible sleep. Oh my God. There's no going back, guys. There's no going back. And comfort isn't their only standard. They only use 100% sustainable raw materials. It's the first fair trade certified manufacturer of linen, so you can feel as good about your Boll and Branch sheets as they feel against your skin. They sent us the signature hemmed sheets, which are great. I got the Shore for my color. I like white sheets on my bed, nice and crisp, but these were freebies, so I thought I'd take a little risk.
Yeah.
They look great.
Good.
It's called Shore is the color. It's sort of a grayish blue.
Yeah,
like
I wish
the
we went with
seashore.
those.
Really?
Well, I
you
mean,
sure?
Nora does.
Well, are you sure? Good one, Lee. Oh, I'm not
we
even
haven't-
on my camera, guys.
I mean, what do you want?
Say something.
Well, you were mid read.
Yeah.
Well, I
It sounded good. It was sounding good.
Like everybody's looking at you and listening to me.
Sometimes it could be a bit too. I'm like, just let it play out. I don't know.
Yeah,
I knew it
guess.
wasn't a bit.
But you just wanted our genuine
wanna
reactions
interrupt
to your sheet color.
That's right. I was waiting for your reaction to my scintillating read over there. Okay, where was I? Oh, yeah, I sleep hot and cold. That's right. Both. Can you believe it? And these sheets are not too hot and not too cool, so it's perfect for year-round. And that's perfect for most sleepers. Boll and Branch focuses on quality over quantity. No inflated thread counts here, because more isn't always better. I was surprised by that because every time I buy sheets, I'm like, I got highest thread count possible. But that's apparently not the way to go. So Boll and Branch, I'm learning. My only regret with these sheets is that I wish that I attended more toga parties, because these sheets would be perfect for that. Ever been to a toga party, guys?
I haven't. No.
Oh.
It's weird when you think about it. You just see it in movies all the time.
I know.
Never went to one.
They're wild. They're crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
I believe it.
Anyway.
I was at a toga / foam party. You're supposed to wear a toga to a foam party.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's too
It was
much.
but it's more foam. It's like you can't show off the toga.
That's
It's all
right.
Also,
foam.
I don't want to get my sheet that I'm wearing as my toga wet.
They get better the more you wash them.
That's true.
It'd be heavy.
All right, experience the best sheets you've ever felt at bollandbranch.com. Get 15% off your first set of sheets when you use promo code NODUNKS at checkout. That's Boll and Branch, BOLLAND, branch.com. Promo code NODUNKS.
Here's a question. How do you take your coffee?
Crisp.
Maybe a full-bodied roast, something light. We all have our preferences. And no matter what you love to drink, Trade Coffee makes it easy to brew your best cup at home. Trade sells the freshest roasted and ethically sourced beans from America's best independent roasters. They ship free to you as often as you like, whole or ground. How you like them beans? Whether you're a coffee nerd, like our friend Jay, or Thody, or Zach, that group you were in.
Yeah.
I'm
We're
talking
still
about
in it.
those coffee nerds. You're still
Yeah.
in the nerd group.
Yeah.
All right. Or
It's dormant, but I'm in it.
oh, okay. Or maybe you just want a better daily cup. Trade's real coffee experts taste test over 400 roasts and use technology to match you to your ideal coffee based on your preferences and brewing method. So this is the fun part here. You take this coffee quiz to get started, and then Trade Coffee guarantees you'll love your first bag, or they'll just replace it for free. That's a lot of confidence in this quiz. It's like
Confidence, baby,
like
confidence.
we've got this quiz down so perfectly on how you answer it. You're gonna get that bag of beans and you're gonna love it. Or we'll just replace it for free. That's pretty awesome. And for our listeners right now, Trade Coffee is offering a total of $20 off your first 3 bags when you go to drinktrade.com/nodunks. So get started. Go take that quiz at drinktrade.com/nodunks. Start your journey to the perfect cup. That's drinktrade.com/nodunks for $20 off your first 3 bags. All right. let's get to tweet of the night.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Twitter.
Well, it only feels right to go back to Ja Morant. You know, we started talking the show about him and his performance and his 52 points and all the highlights. And what a guy. What a player. And caught the eye of Allen Iverson. Hall of Famer Allen Iverson last night, who tweeted a picture with Ja Morant's jersey hanging off Allen Iverson's Most Valuable Player award there. Sooner or later, AI says. I respect Iverson. He's like, get the fuck out of here with your most improved. This guy's going to be winning MVP sooner or later. And then the best part is, Ja Morant sees this and retweets it with another photo. And it's a hell of a Photoshop from
Lee Olsen at Shift Refresh.
That's
from,
right.
Townsville,
Lee.
Australia. Great work.
And Ja Morant saying, pass the torch OG flame emoji. I also love that response. I feel like so many players would be like, you know, thank you, man, from a legend. That's the best thing ever. This guy's like, yeah, you're right. Just pass the torch. Let's go. And then a fun little Photoshop there of Ja Morant. A young Ja Morant.
Yeah.
And Allen Iverson. So there you go. Just a nice, fine moment on Twitter.
I can't believe we had the discipline to not talk about it during our breakdown, because it was a great tweet from a legend, just to be able to say, I love this game and I love the young players. You know, he's not like an old fart railing on you know, so it's nice. And he was at All-Star Weekend. He's just like, I love this thing. He watches League Pass because of Steph Curry, he said. Didn't mention Ja Morant, actually. In that, he said, I bought League Pass because of Stephen Curry. But maybe, Ja's worth the price of League Pass himself. So, nice moment.
Oh, I've got another tweet here from Charles Oakley, who says Ja Morant wouldn't even be on a team in the 80s.
Well, the Memphis Grizzlies didn't exist, so he's technically right about that.
He's technically right
yeah.
again. Damn it, he got me again. No, I'm just kidding about that. Pick 'em. Let's get to it. Brought to you by BetMGM. Dallas, Lakers is our game. We're starting it all over. Tass owes a bunch of pick 'em payoffs. He's up to 3. I still owe 1. Plan on doing it this week, so don't you worry. But tonight's game, Tass, is Dallas LA Lakers. And what's the line on this one?
When I threw Lau into the dock, I knew everybody was going to be jumping on those Mavs because the Lakers were just embarrassed.
Yeah.
But I think they will bounce back from the embarrassment, and I just got to be the different guy. I like getting in a hole. Plus 5.5 points to the Mavs. So they got to lose by 5 or less at home on TNT. You three think the Mavs will win by 6 or more. I just get a little faith. The Mavs barely pulled one out on Sunday. They lost to the Jazz on Friday when Rudy Gobert did a really good job on Luka Doncic. One-on-one on the perimeter, trying to expose him. I can see Dwight Howard doing the same. Just kidding. But I do think the Lakers will put forth an effort. We'll see what happens. Doubleheader on TNT. Boston hosting the Hawks. And then the Mavs and the Lakers. Golden State, Minnesota, another good one as well.
You have no faith in the Lakers right now. That could have been any team playing LA, right?
When it came through this morning and I saw the Lakers at home plus 5.5 points, it's like, wow, that's crazy. Just crazy to think that the Lakers would be underdogs by that much at home.
Good point.
Against anybody? No, not anybody. I mean, the Pistons or Magic or Thunder or someone were in town. Although the Thunder have played it pretty well this year. So.
Anybody.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody. Yeah.
We'll see. Watch the Lakers win here tonight, and Tass will probably take an early lead in the month of March. But everybody else has the Mavs win by 6, and Tass has the Lakers as dogs. Good luck to everybody in the No Dunks Discord doing their daily pick'ems there. I love that. All right, guys, let's call it there. Email in your NBA questions to nodunks@theathletic.com. Get yourself a sweet, sweet athletic subscription. Go to theathletic.com/nodunks. $1 a month deal right now for an athletic subscription. Whew, take advantage of that. And follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok @NoDunksInc. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Until then, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, actually, I have a question for 2 guys that have a Discord app on their desktop. Should I download Discord? Download Discord?
The Discord download.
What do you think? Not to put you on the spot, but...
Yeah.
Do you like building community?
Of course.
You like laughing?
Of course.
How do you feel about memes?
I like memes, but am I going to use it more on my phone or on my...
I don't use it on my phone. I use it on my laptop. Yeah, tippity type.
Okay. Okay.
I think he's a both man.
I'm a both man. I'm a both man. Yeah, I like to be able to respond
Toot sweet.
different ways.
What about you, man? We're gonna get you in the Discord horde. No, that's a no. All right,
We're never talking kiss on the Discord. It's not the kiss cord.
we'll see you guys tomorrow. Embrace the day, people.